Alrighty, let's go. Welcome back in to another episode of the Redzone Report, your week 4 edition, the NFL season. Giving you the show where I cover my best bets for the week, my rapid rundown, giving you some player props. I've got 4 best bets and I've got 4 player props for you again this week. Giving you my SuperCoach update. We've had our first price rises. Who are we trading? Who's got the high break evens? Who should you captain this week? I'll let you know later in the show. My survivor pick as well. I will survive. Yeah. We survived Kansas City Chiefs getting the win over the Giants in week 3. And finishing off with my multi for the week, of course, and my Hail Mary 2+ touchdown 3-leg parlay to finish it off. And we started last week's show with the prime time game on Thursday Night Football, and we're going to do the same to start off week 4. And it's the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Arizona Cardinals for an NFC West matchup Friday morning here at 10:20 a.m. here in Australia. Seattle currently a 1.5 point favorite in this matchup with a total just 43.5. Does seem light for these two teams. However, this did open Arizona minus 2.5 and a total of 44. So we haven't seen too much difference with the total, a little bit of down. However, this is completely flipped to the other side, and I can 100% get it. And you know what? I'm going to ride it as well. Give me Seattle Seahawks on the money line. And there's a few good reasons why I really do like Seattle in this matchup. So usually, short week, I'm not a massive fan of a road team on a short week. But I backed Miami last week and I backed Seattle last week. But why did I do that? And that's because it's a division matchup. These two teams play each other twice a year. They used to each other's tactics in this one. I really like Seattle. Arizona is absolutely banged up to shit in this one here. And the secondary is gone, and their main guy in the backfield, James Conner, had a gruesome leg injury against the San Francisco 49ers last Sunday. Just absolutely shocking. And it's not like a running back makes a huge difference to this team, right? But he's been there for quite a while now. He seems to be the heart and soul of this sort of team. And you could just tell as soon as he went down, it just seemed to be soul crushing for Arizona. And along with that, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., who's dropping passes, like literally cold dropping. And this is a guy that got picked in the top 5 in the draft 2 years ago. Absolutely insane. Zay Jones dropping passes as well. They completely blew that game against the 49ers. And I said they blew that game against the 49ers, and that was also a division game as well. So now they've got 2 division games within 5 days. It's a tough backup. And Seattle have always got the edge over Arizona in this matchup as well. They've won the last 8 out of 9 against them as well. So that's a few on the road there, and quite convincing wins as well. And Seattle, they've got some troops back. It looks like Derek Witherspoon on the defense, he should be back for Seattle. Zach Charbonnet, another backfield player, along with Kenny Walker, should be back for this one as well. Really like how Sam Darnold is working and gelling well with this team, especially with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, they basically had a free run last week, and they absolutely just smashed Saints. It was over in the first quarter, basically a training run for Seattle. They should be very fresh for this one, getting a couple of troops back. I don't think they'll have any issue going to Arizona and winning this one in primetime on Thursday Night Football. So give me the Seattle Seahawks on the money line for bet number 1 to start off the week, Thursday Night Football. Would love to go back-to-back wins in Thursday Night Football. That would just be a great start to my week. Stay tuned. Might have a prop for later in this game as well. All right, the second one. We're going to Ireland. First international game of the year. The international series is starting. The Pittsburgh Steelers are heading to Minnesota. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings are heading to Dublin, Ireland to play the first game of the international series. This one here is brutal for someone in Australia. This is Sunday night at 11:30 kickoff. I don't know if I'll be watching this one. It's going to be a long night otherwise, especially with Monday morning 3 a.m. Red Zone. However, in this matchup here, the Vikings are anywhere between a 2.5 and 3 point favorite in this one. Total of just 41. Steelers opened minus 2.5. It's completely flipped the other way. A total of 40.5. This is a relatively low total. However, Aaron Rodgers has not been playing too well, and you're going up against a Brian Flores defense, which has absolutely torched Cincinnati on the weekend. However, I want to look at this a bit of a different way because, as I said, I know the Vikings absolutely battered Cincy on the weekend. They had 5 turnovers in that game. Cincy had 3 fumbles in a row. It was Carson Wentz. It was his first game for the Vikings. He didn't have to do much, and if you're going to have your first start for a team, you want it to be at home as well, and against a poor defense. He was able to stroll down the field so easily for the Vikings in this one here. I don't think you're going to be able to do the same thing against the Steelers. Steelers defense has not been too great the first couple weeks. They had 5 turnovers last week against the Patriots there, and they got the win on the road in Boston. I know the box score doesn't say that they deserve to win, but they still had 5 turnovers, and they were pretty much mostly fumbles and 1 interception. The defense was absolutely on fire in this one, and I just think this line has moved way too much in my opinion. I look at like Vikings were at home -3 against Cincy, and now they're close to -3 on a neutral ground against Aaron Rodgers instead of Jake Browning. Like, it's just not quite lining up to me. And a big factor for me is, don't get me wrong, the Vikings, they have 2 games overseas, like back-to-back, so they go to London the week after. The Steelers have a bye the week after, and it's such a good spot generally in the NFL is a team coming off the bye. The spot going into the bye doesn't get talked about enough for me, and I know they won last week. It just seems like a Mike Tomlin spot as a dog in against a pretty good team, but you just don't want to go into the bye off a loss. And we're at 3 now, and it's moved 5.5 points. It just seems a lot for me in 1 week, and you still got Carson Wentz at quarterback for the Vikings, who he hasn't even been there a month. Like, literally a month ago, he was sitting on his bloody couch, probably watching Seinfeld or South Park or something. Like, you know what I mean? He hasn't been with this Viking offense for too long. He got an absolute gift of a matchup for his first game with him against a backup quarterback, against probably a bottom 5 defense in the league, and their defense themselves absolutely turned up. Isaiah Rodgers, holy dooly, just absolutely cooking. I think he forced 2 turnovers and had a pick 6 himself. Absolutely crazy, but I just can't see that sort of luck happening 2 weeks in a row. It's going to be a super interesting game, this one. I do like the Steelers to cover the 3. Little sprinkle on the money line. I think at worst, they lose by 3 in this game. So give me the Steelers plus the 3. Obviously, try and get the 3 if you can. 2.5, I'm really not so keen on. 3 is such a key number in NFL, obviously. So can get the 3. Please take the plus 3. That is bet number 2 for the Redzone Report this week. And the third one, we'll cross to Atlanta. Washington Commanders at the Atlanta Falcons. This is in the first slate in Monday morning here at 3 a.m. Commies are a -1.5 point favorite at the moment. Total of 45.5 for this one. This one also opened at -1.5 for the Commies and a total of 46. So we have not seen hardly too much movement on this game. I can't see this game being a big bet game either, considering there's a few other really good games on the slate in this one. However, I'm looking at the same sort of similar direction as I did with the Steelers. And this is a fantastic bounce back spot for Atlanta, in my opinion. They've got the bye, like the Steelers do in week 5 as well. And the Falcons, they just completely laid an egg last week against my Panthers too. They lost 30-0 to my Panthers. Like, don't get me wrong, my Panthers still aren't that great, and they lost 30-0 to them. Don't get me wrong. You look at the box score in this one, the Falcons and the Panthers from last week. The Falcons had more plays, more yards per play, more passing yards. They just completely fumbled it when it got to like inside hour and a half. They couldn't even get past their own 30. Penix was horrible. Everyone was horrible in this game. Panthers had a couple, like a pick 6, and nearly had another pick 6 as well. Everything was going right for the Panthers. Bryce Young still only threw for like 134 yards or something ridiculous like that. It's a massive bounce back for Atlanta. You got to remember, 2 weeks ago, they only just traveled to Minnesota and beat them in prime time in Minnesota, as I said. I really like this as a bounce back at home with the bye next week. You just don't want to go into the bye of 2 losses in a row. Washington on the other side, obviously, Jaden Daniels is still questionable for this game. Probably does sound like Marcus Mariota will go around again because of how good they were last week with him. But the game as well, like, they were playing the Raiders, like, and they were at home. Like, same deal as sort of Wentz in a way, like, a backup quarterback. Like, I get Mariota's been way longer than Wentz has at the Vikings, but like, first home game for the season, like, just as backup quarterback, kind of the spot that you want against a pretty rubbish defense, an AFC opponent traveling on the road to an NFC opponent as well, in the East slot, in the first slot as well. It kind of just all sort of matched up really well for Washington in that game. It's going to be a bit trickier this time around. Atlanta's got an awesome pass defense as well. I really do like Atlanta to bounce back in this game and get the win in this one. So give me Atlanta on the money line in this one against the Washington Commanders with Marcus Mariota at the back there for bet number 3. And the last bet of the 4, we're going to go to my Carolina Panthers traveling to New England in this one. Don't play each other too often, like a once every 4 years sort of thing. NFC, traveling on the road to an AFC opponent. Monday morning as well at 3 a.m. Patriots are a minus 5.5 point favorite or a total of 43.5. This one just opened, only minus 4.5 for New England. Total 43.5. So the total is held. We're seeing a tiny bit of money for the Patriots in this one. And you might be thinking, Scooshy, like, Panthers just won 30-0 last week, and Patriots lost to the Steelers. Why has there been Patriots money? Well, that's what I was trying to sort of explain before. This Panthers box score from last week is so deceiving, and so is this Patriots one as well. They had more yards, per play, they had more opportunities than the Steelers last week to go win this game. As I said, they had 4 fumbles in this game. Just atrocious. They lost the turnover count 5-0. 2 of those fumbles were essentially inside the Steelers' 2-yard line. One of them was like inches away from the goal line. Bloody Ramondre Stevenson. He just cannot stop fumbling in the red zone. It's just crazy stuff. But I think the tide's going to switch in this game. The Patriots are 0-2 at home so far this season. Are they really going to start 0-3 at Gillette Stadium? I don't think so. I don't think Drake May has been really that bad. And now, like, realistically, Bryce Young, even though I see potential in Bryce Young, I could be biased there. Obviously, you've got McMillan there as well. But I think some of these offenses in the past few weeks have made my Panthers defense look a little bit better than what it is. Don't get me wrong. You've got, like, JC Horn there. We've got a couple guards injured. We don't have a great pass rush. Looks like Christian Gonzalez, our best defensive player for the Patriots. It looks like he will be playing his first game of the season as well. As I said, you take away those 2 fumbles in the red zone inside the 2-yard line for the Patriots, they go win that game against the Steelers. So it's a bit deceiving the box scores. It's a bit deceiving the final scores from last week for both these 2 teams. My bet for this game is the Patriots to go over 2.5 touchdowns. So to score 3 touchdowns in this game. I do kind of like some points in this game. I do like Christian Gonzalez back in this defense as well. So that kind of makes me not trust maybe the Panthers enough to score enough in this game. Maybe the Patriots just run up the board in this one. Patriots scored twice last week. But as I said, 2 fumbles inside the 2-yard line. That could have been 4 touchdowns most likely there. Against a worse defense now, and you're telling me that they're going to struggle to score 3 touchdowns? I would absolutely never in this world take Patriots to score under 2.5 touchdowns. I still don't think this Panthers defense is as good as what the ratings say or as good as what it has looked at to be in this last couple of weeks. Like, we played Arizona, like, then they don't have a strong wide receiving core. We have not been able to stop the run. I'm kind of begging Mike Vrabel in a way, as looking at it as a betting perspective. They've got to play Travion Henderson more. They've got to get Travion Henderson the ball. Why is Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson getting the ball in the backfield. We know what these two guys are like. It's been proven before. And then you've got one of the best rookie running backs from college last year who hardly fumbles the ball, and he's not getting any chances. It just doesn't make any sense to me in this one here. I really like the Patriots in this game. It could be a potential blowout. It's not a good spot for Carolina off their first win of the season against a division rival. Now traveling to an AFC opponent on the road. It's just not my cup of tea. So give me the Patriots to go over 2.5 touchdowns. Just score 3 touchdowns. And might play some alts. I do probably like them to score either 4, maybe even score 5 touchdowns in this game. That is my 4 best bets for the week 4 in the NFL season. Alrighty, my next one. We're going to go into the rapid rundown. I give you the next 12 games of the week. Gonna go rapid through it as quickly as I can, just giving you my slight leans and where the lines are at the moment. Alrighty, 3, 2, 1, bang. New Orleans at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are a 16.5 point favorite in this one. Total 47.5. I do lean under in this one. Just screams of Bills sort of getting, 2-3 touchdown lead and just sort of, putting the Q in the rack in this one. I don't know how many points the Saints are going to be able to score in this game. I really can't see it. Can you really trust this game to go over? I don't trust any team to sort of cover this number. Just give me the under in this one as a lean. Next one, Cleveland Browns traveling to the Detroit Lions. They're minus 9 point favorite in a total of 44.5. Both teams coming off amazing wins in week 3 in this one. This line does seem just a touch bit too high for me, this one. Does look like the minus 9 is to try and cover a teaser blocker in this one. So, bettors can't go down to the minus 2.5 or minus 1.5 for a teaser in this one. Just seems, I know the Browns is brutal, and it's just brutal. Probably the Browns in the under. If the Browns are going to cover, it's probably going to go under as well. Next game, Chargers at the Giants. The Giants are a plus 6.5 point dog, total of 44. I lean the Giants because it is Jackson Dart time, baby. Russ is gone. I forgot his name. Russ is washed. He's gone. He's been dropped after just 3 weeks after an awful performance against the Chiefs. Rookie quarterback Jackson Dart, just drafted in off-season. He's making his first start. It is about bloody time as well. He played awesome in the preseason. I think they should have started with him. It was only a matter of time, in my opinion, before he was going to get the start. I think I said like week 6 or week 7 that he's going to get the start. Week 4, and we are here already. I love the first quarterback playing in his sort of first game, especially at home as well. Chargers are in a disgusting spot of 3 back-to-back wins against division opponents, now heading east in the early slot against an NFC opponent. Oh, it's an awful spot for the Chargers in this one. I do lean the Giants in this one. I might get to the window. I would prefer a 7 though. Next game, Philly Eagles at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A replay of a couple playoff matches we've had before. Tampa are a 3.5 point dog at home. Total of 44.5. Tampa had 3 wins in a row of game-winning drives at the end of the game. It is absolutely insane to see. All margins within within 3 points, like game-winning field goals or touchdowns. It is just crazy. Eagles had that absolute wild cover against the Rams last week. Absolute wild. And the Eagles in the first half last week against the Rams were awful. And now they flicked the switch in the second half, and it probably looks like that's how they're going to continue in this one. I do lean the Eagles on this one, and also the under. I do like the Eagles defense in this one. Next game, oh, what a bludger. AFC South matchup. Tennessee Titans heading to the Houston Texans in this one. Texans are a minus 7 point favorite. Total just 38.5. It's such a low total, but it's such a low total for a reason. These two offenses suck at the moment. Houston has a good defense as well. How are the Titans really going to score that much in this game? Brian Callahan, his offensive calling is just disgusting in this one. I do lean the under in this one. It's low at 38.5, 5 touchdowns and a field goal. I said it's low for a reason. Oh, God, I don't even have a lean in the side. It's just a disgusting number. I don't know what it should be. Houston could win by 20. Houston could win by 3. Titans could win. I just don't know, but I do like the under. Next game. This is a cracking matchup in this one. One of the surprising cracking matchups as well that we would not have thought preseason. And that is the Indianapolis Colts heading to the LA Rams, heading west. Rams are a minus 3.5 point favorite in this one. Total of 49.5 has been getting steamed up. Lean Rams in this one, and also the over. So I lean the Rams. It's just, there's got to be a flat spot for Indy coming up, surely. Like they just played a pretty crap Tennessee Titans team last week on the road as well, and now they're going to go on the road again and play the Rams. It's their first true test on the road this year. And the Rams have got to be pissed off that last life. Completely blew it. They're up 26-7, I think, at one stage. 26-7, and they lost. They had a game-winning field goal chance to win it at the end, and blocked field goal, and Jordan Davis takes it all the way down the other end to lose by 7. And it's just crazy scenes. Sean McVay will have these guys ready, in my opinion. Matthew Stafford, while he is still healthy, he is still throwing bullets to Puka and Devontae. These two receivers are the only two people getting the ball. I do really like Kyron Williams in this game to go off as well against this Indy Rush D. Next game, Jacksonville Jaguars heading west again, just like Indy, to San Fran. San Fran, minus 3 point favorite, total of 47. We're still unsure if Brock Purdy's going to play in this one. I do probably lean the Jags on this one. I don't have a massive lean, though, in all honesty. Like, the Jags' defense isn't that great. I don't think Lawrence has been that great. But I don't think the 49ers have been that great either. Like, Nick Bosa's gone for the year as well. You still got Mac Jones at quarterback if he still plays. Like, I don't know. It's a bit of an awkward matchup in this one. Do I really want to lay the 3 with San Fran? Do I trust them to win by, more than a field goal in this one? I don't really think so. They probably got away with last week against Arizona. I do lean the Jags in this one here. Next game, this is an absolute doozy of a matchup. One of these teams, champion teams, will be 1-3. It's unbelievable to think. You probably thought preseason, these teams will be 3-0 heading to this matchup here, or at least 2-1. Ravens are heading to Kansas City, heading to Arrowhead, and the Ravens are a minus 2.5 point favorite in this one with a total of 48. I think it's 48.5. I love Mahomes, but I think the Ravens batter the Chiefs in this one. Short week for the Ravens, don't get me wrong, but the Ravens just got killed on Monday Night Football in primetime by a better team, a way better team, top 3-4 team in the NFC. They've got the most points so far this season. I think they scored 110 points this season or something, or maybe even more. It's just crazy. They've gone 41, 41 and 30, so 112 points in 3 games, the most of any team, and they're 1-2. Kansas City Chiefs have got no one on offense. Tyquan Thornton is their wide receiver 1 at the moment. Kelsey is doing absolutely sweet FA. They can't run the ball. They just happened to come up against a shocking Giants team on the weekend to get their first win of the season. I think Ravens honestly could batter them in this game. I do lean the Ravens in this one. It could be a serious blowout. Whether I get to the window or not and think that is another story. All right, next game. We've got 4 left for the week, and that is the Chicago Bears heading west again. Just like the other teams, just like Indy, just like the Jags as well. They are playing Vegas. Las Vegas. Vegas are a minus 1 point favorite. Pretty close to a pick 'em. Total of 48 in this one. I do lean Vegas in this one to bounce back after that shocker in Washington last week and that shocking home opener against the Chargers as well. Bears coming off their first win of the season. It was against Dallas. This Dallas defense is shocking, and they had no CD for half that game as well. It was just a spot for Chicago in that game there. It was just a spot for Caleb to pick apart this defense. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this Vegas defense is too crash hot either, but this Bears defense is not too crash hot either. I think Gino's going to have some success passing the ball in this one. I do like Jacoby Myers in this game. You might see it a little bit later. I do like the Raiders in this game. I do lean that in. Also the over. I do think poor defenses, we could see some points in this one here. Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a cracker. Micah Parsons heading to the Dallas Cowboys. Like the stars just align themselves. Like Micah Parsons heading back to AT&T Stadium. It is just going to be a blockbuster on primetime as well. Packers are a -7-point favorite on the road in Dallas. A total of 47. You think the Packers were -7.5 or -7 last week against the Browns at the Browns, and now they're the same line in Dallas. It just seems crazy. But I guess I lean Packers in this one. I think I have a stronger lean to the under, which is very, very brave considering how bad this Dallas defense is. Jordan Love could absolutely pick apart this defense if he wants to. I do like a couple of receivers for the Packers in this one as well. I think they should be able to stroll down the field. Micah Parsons, he's obviously going to put his stomp down in this game. I believe Cowboys are missing a key O-lineman as well in this one. CD, he's out for 4 weeks as well. It's not the spot for Dallas at all. I couldn't get to the window with the +7. I get they're at home. It's just not the spot for me. Like, they had their first home game. That was an overtime win against the Giants. And now we just saw what the Giants in the Rust did last week against the Chiefs. Honestly, Dallas could get blown out in this game. I do not mind the under as well in this one. I just don't know what Dallas is going to be able to do in this game. And then we cross to Monday Night Football. We've got another doubleheader. It is a brutal doubleheader in this one. The New York Jets, the Jets, heading to their division rival, the Miami Dolphins, for an AFC matchup. Miami Dolphins on a longer mini bye, playing Thursday Night Football last week against a division opponent as well. They're a 3-point favorite and a total of 44.5 in this one here. I believe Justin Fields will be back for this one as well. For me, in what world do Miami deserve to be favorites in any sort of game at the moment? Don't have a massive home field advantage. I get it. They had the mini bye. It's only early in the season as well. Jets nearly won last week against Tampa. But in what world should Miami be favorites? And in what world would you ever lay 3 with Miami? If you're going to lay Miami, if you do like Miami, make sure it's 2.5, please. But I just don't get why Miami should be favorites in a game. I get it. It's the Jets. They suck. But come on, it's a division game. Like, Jets should be able to somewhat keep this close within a field goal, I'd hope. I think they could win, honestly. Aaron Glenn got his first win as a head coach last week. Mark McDaniel, he's on the way out at the moment, in my opinion. The Capri Pants, they've got to go. I do lean the Jets in this one. Nowhere near a big enough lean for me to play at this one. And then the last one, holy dooly, again, a team that just got blown out on the weekend. The Cincinnati Bengals heading to Denver to finish off the week on Monday Night Football. Denver a -7.5-point favorite, which is huge, and total of 44.5. Oh, you could, if you have a good lean for this one. I just have a lean. I'm not going to bet this one. It's very stinky, but you just got to go with Cincy in this one, plus the points. This line is way too big now. Denver, hardly been impressive. Bo Nix has hardly been that impressive, in my opinion. Jake Browning just got clobbered on the weekend. As I said, the Cincy defense had the Cincy attack had 3 fumbles in a row in the first half. 5 turnovers. Absolutely insane. The game, same like with a couple of games last week, it was done in the first quarter. It was done in the first half. What was it? 31-3 at halftime in this one. Just crazy. But now they're going up a defense that's not as good as Brian Flores. Like, you've got to be better, Cincy. It's just a massive bounce back spot. And I don't think I could lay 7.5 with confidence, knowing that Cincy got absolutely blown out last week. Denver absolutely blew that game against the Chargers last week. See how they bounce back. Not a strong lean for me, probably either side, but I do have a small lean to the Cincinnati Bengals in this one with Jake Browning at quarterback. Alrighty, that is my rapid rundown done for you, covering the other 12 games for the week there. We do have our first bye teams on the bye next week. I believe there's 4 teams on the bye, so we do have 14 games from next week. Alright, we'll go into our player props. I've got another 4 for you, and I had a good research on this one. I think I've got 4 bangers lined up for you this week. And I said we'd start off with Thursday Night Football. I like the prop in this one. And I do. And that is Sammy Darnold to go over 221.5 passing yards in this one. He's gone 295 and 218 in the last 2 weeks. So that 218 last week, he didn't have to do much. Didn't have to do much in the second half. There's no need for him to pass the ball in that one. If it was a tighter game, he would have gone way, way over this total and way over the 221.5. Arizona pass defense is currently 30th for pass yards at the moment. This is the team that let Bryce Young throw for 300 yards in this game. Only his first time in his career, sorry. They let Bryce Young throw over 300 yards, and he just threw for 140 against Atlanta. I think Sam Darnold, they're going to be able to stroll down the field in this one here. I do like Seattle, obviously, in this game. I think a big contributor is going to be Sammy Darnold being able to get it down the field. Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's just absolutely cooking at the moment. He's gone close to 100 yards in his first 3 weeks. I expect him to go 100 plus yet again, but this number just seems so freaking low. I can only see him going under this number if Seattle absolutely blew them out again and they didn't have to pass the ball in the second half. But I just think it's an absolute juggernaut offense at the moment. And there's Torrey Horton, he's awesome at the moment. Smith-Njigba, as I said, this offense will cook against Arizona. I think Darnold could go closer over 300 yards in this one here on Thursday Night Football. That is prop number 1 in this one for you there. All right, I've got 3 more props for the week. They're all in the late slate or Sunday Night Football. The second one is Jacoby Myers to go over 67.5 receiving yards for the Raiders. Don't get me wrong. I think he had 63 receiving yards last week. He had a good game the week before. It was all about Trey Tucker last week. Despite the blowout loss, he went for 140 yards, 3 touchdowns, something ridiculous. Just absolutely tore it up against the Washington defense. Jacoby Myers is still the wide receiver 1 in this team. He's still Geno's guy in this team. Bears are 27th ranked in passing yards on the defense at the moment. They are last for yards per play as well in the league across 3 weeks at the moment. Vegas, it's a bounce back spot at home. I do like Jacoby Myers to definitely catch at least sort of 4 or 5 good balls in this game. I think he's had 17 catches for 13, 14 yards per catch at the moment. I think he could go 6 or 7 yards catches in this one and go over that 67.5 prop total for him. All right, 2 more props for this week, and this is probably my favorite prop of the week, I think. And I said I like the lean the Rams in this one, and I do like Kyren Williams, and that is over 63.5 rushing yards. This line just seems way, way too low. He's gone 94 last week against the Philly defense, and he's gone 66 in weeks 1 and week 2 as well. So, but they're still setting the line at 63.5, and they're home favorite as well. If they're leading against Indy, guess what they're going to do? Run, 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 run. Run. They're going to run it through Indy, in my opinion, in this game. I think he's going to go close to that 94 like he did against Philly last week. I think he could go over 100 in this game. He was about 73.5 against Tennessee, which he didn't cover. He covered week 1. He covered week 1, didn't cover against week 2. He went way over last week. It went from 73.5 against the Titans to 60.5 against Philly, and he went 94, and now it's just 63.5 in the favorites in this one. Just seems a little bit odd for me in this one. I love it. Kyren Williams to go over 63.5 rushing yards in this one. And then my last one is the Sunday Night Football game. I said I liked a couple Packers receivers in this one, and it is the rookie Matthew Golden to go over 36.5 receiving yards in this one. Dallas, they are the worst pass defense. They are the worst defense in the league by an absolute country fucking mile at the moment. They are nowhere near it. Matthew Golden, he went 50 yards last week. He had 1 big catch. I think he could go potentially over this in just 1 catch. Seems like the time for a little bit of a breakout game. Obviously, you got Tucker Kraft there. You still got a couple injuries for these Packers wide receivers. It is now the 4th game with Jordan Love and Matthew Golden. I think he's really going to feature in this one. As I said, this Dallas defense is just trash. They're letting these wide receivers just catch these massive balls. I think they've let in, 12 completions of over 25 yards in like the last 2 weeks or something. That's 6 a game. Like Caleb Williams, he's not renowned for tearing up defenses, and he absolutely blew apart this Dallas defense. He had a massive completion to Adunze for a touchdown, a massive completion to Luther Burden as well. Like, you know, why can't Jordan Love in this Packers offense do the same as well? Especially whether they're winning, whether they're going to be behind. I think Jordan Love is going to be able to pass the ball. I think after last week scoring 10 points against the Browns, you look at it close to it like easily a top 10 defense with Myles Garrett running at you. And now who's running at you from Dallas that's going to threaten? Like, no one really. It's just Dallas defense sucks. For the last prop, my fourth prop, I love Matthew Golden to go over his prop total of 36.5 receiving yards, a potential breakout game for the rookie on Sunday Night Football in this one. All right, that was my 4 props there. I absolutely love them for this week. And we'll go into our next topic, and that is NFL SuperCoach. And man, this is like, I find this so difficult, honestly, because it's way different to NRL, in my opinion, where you can have your elite wingers and your elite fullbacks and your elite, like, 2-hour refs, and you know they're consistently going to get some good scores every week, just from base stats. Generally might probably score a good try as well, conversions, that sort of thing as well. You know they're going to be involved in certain tries. NFL SuperCoach is so bloody hard because you can draft you guys like your Jamar Chase and your Justin Jeffersons, that sort of thing. And then you get a guy like Trey Tucker who goes bouncing off for like 68 points last week, like 3 touchdowns and like 144 yards. Like, you just really can't predict that. And it is really bloody hard. The only thing I think is somewhat okay is picking the quarterbacks. I did bitch out last week on getting Justin Herbert. I did make a late trade for Lamar Jackson. I had Joe Burrow, so traded him out, got Lamar instead. He did tear it up against Detroit, which is good to see, despite him copping 7 sacks. I think he got 56 or something. I scored 368, which seemed to be about par for where I am. I'm coming 14.5K out of 30K, so I'm literally in the top half, which I'm not pleased with at all. Went down 285 spots. As I said, a pretty par score that it seemed. We've had our first price rise, like first price changes in this one as well after the 3 games. So, like, a lot of obviously the rookies are making some good cash, and there's also some big players that are losing some cash as well. So, top 2 trade at the moment. Obviously, number 1 is going to be CD Lamb. He's a prime wide receiver. He's out for 4 weeks. He's worth about $20 million. If he's in your team, I just think you just got to get another elite receiver in if you can. Trade him out if you do have him. I was lucky to not start with him. However, I did start with Jamar Chase. These 2 are the top 2 clear traded out at the moment. Jamar Chase was also a trade out in week 2, by people who were trading it, and then he popped off for like 160 yards a week after. I get it. Jake Browning's at quarterback, but again, he had a shocking game last week. He always seems to bounce back relatively well. I'm not ready to quite trade him out just yet. It does just scream of a touchdown and sort of 80, 90 yards for a really solid score in this one. Your top 3 traded in clear cuts are Puka Nacua, which is pretty obvious, Jonathan Taylor from the Colts at running back, and then you got Amon-Ra St. Brown as well from the Detroit Lions. All these 3 players I can make easily reasoning for getting them in 100%. If you're looking at trading these guys in, I can't go against it whatsoever. Puka's on fire at the moment. He's getting all the ball. JT, he's absolutely on fire. I think he's going to be close to favorite for Offensive Player of the Year at the moment. And, of course, the wide receiver 1 for Detroit at the moment, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is killing it at the moment. What I will say about St. Brown, though, is this Browns defense is really good in my opinion. So if you can wait on a week for St. Brown, I would be doing it. I do probably think he might be in for a little bit of a lower score this week against this Browns defense. You got to pick your matchups with St. Brown, but he was awesome against the Ravens defense. Absolutely torched him. For me at the moment, no trades so far. There's a couple I'm definitely looking at. I'm thinking about potentially like a Barkley. He's just not the same player as he was last year. Like, I could definitely look at getting a Jonathan Taylor in. I could definitely sort of look at getting a James Cook in. I could even go like really cheap and go a Cam Scatterbo if I wanted. He's looking awesome for the Giants at the moment with Tyrone Tracy out. Speaking of Cam Scatterbo, he pretty much has the lowest break even this week. He's break even at minus 35 this week. So if you've got him, he's making some good cash this week. Couple of cheapies have got some really, really low break evens this week. I'll just run through them for you really quickly. Quinshon Judkins from the Browns, he's got minus 27. And then these guys are all around minus 25. So a few of them are not so, well, in the mid-range, and then some of the other ones are cheap. So you got Rome Odunze, Tyquan Thornton, Trey Tucker, Dylan Sampson, and Torrey Horton. They're all around the minus 22 to minus 25 break even. There's some really interesting ones. I don't mind Rome Odunze. He's clear wide receiver 1 in this Bears offense at the moment. Thornton, he is the wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs at the moment. You have got Worthy coming back pretty soon. Trey Tucker, I think he's still the wide receiver 2 in this team, just off one really good game. Dylan Sampson, I think he's like the running back 2 in this team at the moment for the Browns. And Torrey Horton as well. I get he's an awesome rookie, but he is also not the wide receiver 1 in this team. So I get it. You want to try and generate cash so you can like trade to an elite receiver later in the year. But just beware, like these guys could be in for a low score because they are not the main guy in these offenses. In terms of massive break evens, Derrick Henry has a huge, huge break even. He's got a break even 81 this week. He just hasn't been himself the last couple of weeks. Fumbled in each game as well, which is really, really not like him as well. I can kind of understand the trade from him to Jonathan Taylor, just so you're not losing cash on like the loss of Henry, and then obviously the gain of cash from Jonathan Taylor. Another one as well, who I can't do this. Josh Allen has a break even of 75. Like, he scored, like 70 or something against like Baltimore in week 1. They've got New Orleans Saints this week. How can you trade out a guy like Josh Allen? I get it, high break even. Just ride the wave of Josh Allen. He's going to go up and down in cash. He's going to have some huge scores, and he's going to have some games where he doesn't have to do as much. They have got a Tinkerbell draw this season. They've got some easy, piss-easy games. They will be able to put up some points, like no problems at all. He can pass them. He can run the ball. He can run them in. He can do everything. If you've got Josh Allen, I would not be trading him out despite the high break even. Cop the cash loss. He could honestly go 70 against the Saints this week and hardly lose any cash. And then you'd be like, oh, shit, why the fuck did I do that? So if you like me, you got Josh Allen, I would not be trading him out. And then the next one, I just spoke about him before. He's got a break even at 68, and that is Saquon Barkley. I'm seriously thinking about this. He just hasn't been quite the same player as he was last year. It's his sort of 7th, 8th season in the league. He's had a brutal knee injury as well. It's kind of getting up to that sort of time frame where running backs start to not produce as much. He doesn't seem to be as explosive as he was last year. He's not scoring. He's not running. Like, his yards per play is nowhere near as it was last year. He's not having these massive runs like he was. I say it now, he's probably going to absolutely pop off this weekend. It is a big risk if you are trading him out. You could keep him in. You could risk the big score this week and just cop the cash loss, or you could definitely go to a Jonathan Taylor or go down to a cheapie like a Scatterbo, like your Judkins if you want to. I'd be looking at Scatterbo or even a James Cook. James Cook is on fire at the moment for Bills. He tore up Miami last week. But as I said, for me, no trade so far. I boosted last week. So I've used 1 boost out of the 4. I've used 3 trades so far. I didn't trade in week 1. I didn't trade after week 2. I boosted last week. So I've used three trades, and I'm not trading so far this week. I've got Marvin Harrison Jr. in my team. I'm not a fan of it at the moment. I'm deciding to keep him and not play him this week. I'm going to play Matthew Golden instead. Obviously, you want to try and get these elite receivers in so you're not relying on the rookies as much. I'm just going to see how this week goes, I think. If I see something I like, I might tweet it or post about it, but I'm leaving it for the moment. Just banking the trades and see where it's going for the season. It's only week 4. We still don't have enough data of how these teams are exactly performing on offense. My next one is Survivor. And as I said, I'm a survivor, baby. 3 weeks in. I forget who I went the first 2 weeks, but last week we took the Chiefs. They were not going to start 0-3, especially against this Giants team. So we'll move it on to week 4, and there's some cracking options this week for sure. You've got a team like the Patriots. You've obviously got the Bills, big favorites. You've obviously got the Lions. You've obviously got the Texans as well. Some of these games seem a bit sort of fishy for me. I'm leaning definitely towards the Pats or the Bills. Last week was really tricky in my opinion, definitely for sure. I think I'm just going to take the easy way out and just go Buffalo in this one as a big favorite, just to get the win at home, just to try and obviously touch wood, just to try and move on to week 5 and go from there. I just don't know if I can trust the Pats. The Lions seems like a really fishy one. I don't know why. And then the Texans, I just can't trust the Texans at the moment. They're like 0-3 against 0-3. How can I trust an 0-3 team to like win? I get that they're at home. They've had some tight losses where they probably should have won some games. They're playing a pretty crap team. Oh, it would be a good one because you get the Texans out of the road and you don't have to use them again, and it's a good team to use. I'm just going to take Buffalo this week. The easy way out. I'm going to bitch it, touch wood, and hopefully they just win by 2 touchdowns or something like that. All right, and we're going to finish off with a couple multis of the week for your week 4 Redzone Report. 5 legs as per usual for my weekly multi, and I'm obviously colliding some of my best bets with some of my props as well to give you some relative pretty good odds. 5 legs. We've got Seattle money line. We've got Atlanta money line. We've got the Pats to go just the over 2.5 touchdowns. We've got Kyron Williams to go 70 plus rush yards, so alternate yards. If you have 75 instead of 70, take the 75. And I've got Matthew Golden to go 50 plus receiving yards on primetime and Sunday night football in this one. This one pays $40 to 1, so $10 returns 400 buckaroonies in this one. That would be a lovely, lovely collect. And to finish off my episode, we're going to go through my 2+ touchdown Hail Mary. We're going to go 3 running backs that I do really like this week. Just 3 running backs, just to score 2 touchdowns, but these 3 are at really, really good odds. The end result is awesome odds. If we get this, I'll be laughing. 2+ touchdowns. Running backs. Cam Scatterbo from the Giants. He's like 10 to 1. Jackson Dart in his first game. I think Cam Scatterbo got all the ball last week in that game. I think something similar will continue. I think they are a live dog in this one, in all honesty. Him to get 2+ touchdowns. Jaylen Warren for the Steelers in Ireland. I don't know how much success Aaron Rodgers is going to have against this pass defense for the Vikings. I just think if they're going to win, it's going to be a traditional Tomlin run. And I do like Jaylen Warren to score 2 in this one. And then my last one, I said I did lean the Eagles in this one, but I think Bucky Irving can have a huge game against this Eagles run defense. We saw Kyron Williams. He had success last week against them, 94 rush yards, also scored a receiving touchdown. He's about 10 to 1 as well. So all these 3 guys about 10 to 1. You do that up. This 3-leg multi pays $1,080. You think, like, $10 gets you back $10,000. Like 10,800. Even $5 gets you over $5,000. Like, if the stars align, this could be awesome. It'll definitely pay for my holiday coming up to Bali. That would be absolutely awesome for me. Awesome for everybody if you tail as well. But we'll do a quick recap of the Redzone Report for week 4. As I said, 4 best bets for your week. Starting off, we had Seattle moneyline against the Cardinals. Steelers plus the 3, if you can get the plus 3 against Vikings and Ireland. We had Atlanta moneyline, the Falcons against the Commies in Atlanta for that one. And then my last best bet was the Patriots to go over 2.5 touchdowns in this one against my Carolina Panthers. We had player props. We had Sammy Darnold to go over 221.5 passing yards. Jacoby Myers from the Raiders to go over 67.5 receiving yards. Kyron Williams from the Rams to go over 63.5 rush yards. And Matthew Golden on Sunday Night Football to finish off the props to go over his 36.5 receiving yard total. In regards to Survivor, we said I'm going to go Buffalo for this one. And then the multis to finish off the week. Seattle moneyline, Atlanta moneyline, Pats over 2.5 touchdowns. Kyron Williams to go 70 plus rush yards. And Golden to go 50 plus receiving yards, paying $40. $10 collects $400. And then to finish off, my Hail Mary 2+ touchdown, all 3 running backs, Cam Scatterbo, Jalen Warren, and Bucky Irving, pays $1,080. $10 in this collects $10,800. All right, guys, that will do it for week 4 of the Redzone Report, bringing you my best bets for the week, player props, my rapid rundown, SuperCoach thoughts, trade-ins, trade-out, survivor picks, and multis to finish off as well. As always, if you like what you heard, if you like what you see, give it a like, give me a subscribe, give us a follow, give me a leave a review, leave some comments, let me know what you think. I absolutely love doing my Redzone Report. It's absolutely awesome. Wishing you the best of luck for your bets this week. We need a huge bounce back. We've not had a good start to the NFL season, but as I said, that will do it for Squishy this week on the Redzone Report. See you next week for week 5. Cheers.